It is that time of the week once again. As you can see by the title of the video, I will be going over a very complete guide for getting the MP7 golden. Now, I wanted to make it a bit easier for y'all to find all of my gold camo guides, so I made a playlist on my YouTube channel. This is very easy to get to, and you can see all of my gold camo guides there. I will be splitting this video up into multiple different sections as usual. We'll be going over headshots, hipfires, long shots, shortly after reloading kills, mounted kills, additional tips, and last but not least, my class setup that I used for just about everything. All those timestamps will be down in the description, but without further ado, let's jump straight into it. For headshots, like I've mentioned in many other videos, this is a relatively easy one to accomplish, due to the factor that the headshot multiplier is so high in Modern Warfare. But of course, it gets to the points sometimes where that's honestly the last thing that you need to do. For these, I would recommend going on the smaller maps. Try to stay away from the ground war modes, the 10v10 modes. I just find those don't give me nearly as many headshots as the smaller maps because I can focus more on headshots. One thing that you have to remember with headshots is that you need to focus primarily on headshots. Of course, after a while, you will get headshots no matter what. But I've had games where I go into those smaller maps or shoot houses still out at the point of recording, and I can get 20 headshots a match. One thing I also recommend if you're having trouble with the iron sights on the MP7, I would throw on a reflex sight. What I like to use is the GI Mini Reflex. I find that this doesn't take up nearly as much room on my screen and I can see a lot easier. And unless you have super fast reflexes, I would recommend playing a little slower. And if you're pre-aiming something, make sure to pre-aim in the upper half of the body. You usually don't have to pre-aim directly at the head because most of the time when you get shot, your gun is going to go flying up higher. So I'd recommend, if you want to, you can aim for the head, but probably the upper chest would work for you. You'll just have to see, honestly, what works best for you. But again, play slower, aim for that chest, the head, primarily focus on that, and possibly throw on a reflex sight. Next, we're going to be going over hipfire kills. With the hipfire kills, this is another thing. Usually the MP7 is pretty good with those closer range hipfires. It really kills, honestly, pretty fast. But there's two attachments that you can put on to make it extremely easy to get those hipfires. One is going to be heading over to your lasers and putting on the 5 milliwatt laser. Now, a lot of people are kind of iffy about using this just because it makes the laser visible to the enemy. But I promise, even though that you might die a couple more deaths because people can see this, it's going to decrease that hipfire spread so much that it outweighs that con. It will help you complete this at least twice as fast, I promise. And on top of that, you can go to the underbarrel and put on the Merc foregrip. This is also going to help with that hipfire accuracy. These two combined is perfect. Of course, you're losing some of the aim down sight speed, but you don't need the aim down sight speed if you're just hip firing. This is another one of those that you're just going to have to focus solely on that. I know sometimes you're like, oh, I just can aim in, I can kill this guy, get it over super fast. But honestly, you're going to be killing more people than you think with these two attachments on. Again, I would recommend those smaller maps, especially Shoot House. Abuse this game mode. Abuse it. 2 to 3 games and I can easily complete these hipfires on that map. Next is the crouch kills. Usually I don't go over this just because the crouch kills are so easy, and honestly it's really easy on this gun as well. But I see a couple of people talking about it every single video. Truly, my only tip for this would just be to crouch everywhere. Crouch, walk. If you see someone, crouch and then shoot. You can also change your button layout to tactical. How you're going to do that is go into your options and change the button layout preset and change it to tactical. That makes it so when you hit your right thumbstick, or I don't know what it is on PC, I guess you really don't need anything on PC, it's going to make you crouch. So you can crouch and shoot at the same time. Makes it a lot faster if you do not have a scuff controller or if you don't play claw. It might take a couple games to get used to, but this is what a lot of people used to use for drop shotting as well. I know a lot of people that still use it, and it's honestly pretty darn helpful. Next, we're going to go over long shots. Long shots can take a little while, especially if you're playing smaller maps. So I would recommend now going to those larger maps, the 10v10 maps, the ground war. You're going to be getting these long shots a lot faster, a lot easier, and I also have some attachment tips for you. I would recommend going over to your muzzle and putting on the monolithic suppressor. Now, even if you're not a suppressor person, just hold off, listen to me. The monolithic suppressor is going to increase that damage range, which makes it so at a distance, your accuracy is going to be better. The range of your weapon's going to be better, which means, again, the damage will be higher at further ranges, making it much easier to get those long shots. Now, also, I would recommend putting literally almost any sight on this. Again, I run that GI mini reflex sight. A lot of people run the recon sights. For this, it's what works best for you at those longer distances. Again, I like having that smaller sight so that I can see more easily. And then if you head over to your barrel, I put on the FSS recon sight. Again, this is going to help with that damage range, bullet velocity. It's all going to help getting those long shots. My last tip for long shots is to go into your settings and lower your sensitivity a little bit. It will help with those further range kills, or even mounting on an object will decrease your recoil. Next, we're going to go with shortly after reloading kills. Now, this used to be the hardest challenge in the world for me. It was ridiculous, but thankfully they put out an update, I believe last week, that made it a lot easier. This again is another one you're just gonna have to focus solely on this. Before I jump into what you really need to do, I would recommend putting on the perk sleight of hands. This is gonna make you reload much faster. Now, the MP7 in general just reloads really fast, but with sleight of hand, it's even faster. It's really worth it, I promise. What I do is I put on that sleight of hand, I'll put on the monolithic suppressor, and then I'll go into a match, and as soon as I spawn in, I will shoot a single bullet, and then when I think that someone's going to be someplace or I see someone, I will reload very quickly, and then I'll kill them. With this one, you are going to get killed over and over and over again. But if you focus solely on when you see an enemy reloading and then killing them, you're going to get it much faster. After you reload, again, I would recommend just shooting a bullet. And that's why we're putting on that monolithic suppressor, so that people don't see you on the radar or hear you as easily when you shoot that initial bullet, so that you can reload. This is one that I'm completing a lot faster since the update, and I haven't really had to focus on it too much. I've really enjoyed doing this on ground war or free-for-all, where I heard that hardpoint is an amazing one to do, which makes sense because a lot, people are going to be sitting in that hardpoint. So before you go into the hardpoint, just make sure to reload real fast and then slay out. Next, we're going to be going over mounted kills. Now, this is one that can be kind of annoying because you literally have to sit on a mount for many kills. For this one, you can run the field upgrade deployable cover. You can mount on this anywhere that you can place it down. If you don't know what mounting is, it's where you go up to an object and you push down on your right thumbstick, or for PC, I don't know, I should probably look that up for you guys, but it makes you, of course, mount on that object. You can mount on about anything in this game, on window seals, on doors, on everything, basically. But that deployable cover will make sure that you can mount on even more places. My favorite thing to do is either go on, of course, shootout or ground war and find those places that I know where people are going to be coming. I used to go into cyber attack just because I knew exactly where people were going right off of spawn, and every single round I could usually get at least 2 kills mounted. Now again, this might take you a little while, but focus on those mounted kills. When you see someone, if you're not mounted, try and find an object real fast and mount. Every little kill that you get mounted and taking the time to mount will help you in the long run. Next, I'm going to be going over the additional tips that I'm going to give you guys. Now, I talk about this every single video just because it's that important to do. It would decrease the time that it takes to do these 2 to 3 times as much to get that gold camo. And that's going to be just tying all the challenges together. One of my favorite ones to do that I mentioned again a lot is the crouching and the hipfire kills at the same time. I would just go around crouch walking, and when I see someone, just hipfire. If you're putting on all the right attachments, it makes it a lot easier. Hell, you could take it to the next level. You can go and mount on an object. You can hip fire them. You can mount on an object. You can get those long shots, which actually helps a lot with those long shots because mounting will decrease your recoil. So yeah, tying as many as you can together, believe me, it helps more than you know. Lastly, I wanted to go over my class setup. Now I'm just going to do this super fast since I already have a pretty in-depth tutorial on this that I made 2 days ago. I'll leave that also down in the description if you want to watch that. Now this is my usual class setup that I run with this. I'm going to be running the monolithic suppressor for my muzzle, which again helps with that damage range. The barrel, the FSS recon, again that damage range. You want to get as much damage range as you can when going against as many ARs as there is in this game. Next, I run the Commando foregrip. Again, this is going to help with that recoil, which again will help with those further ranged gunfights. Next, I run the 50 round mags. This one's going to be up to you, but it makes it so that I can kill 1 or 2 people more since usually I play on these smaller maps. I end up going through my magazine a lot faster, and I have to reload much more when I'm not running this 50 round mag. Last but not least, I run the stippled grip tape. This is going to help with every one of the cons really with the other attachments. You're just going to add that aim down sight speed and that sprint to fire speed. But anyways, that's going to be the end of my video. Let me know what gun that you want to do next. I have the FAL in the works, so hopefully I'll have that one out soon for you guys. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. As always, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys, and I will see y'all in the next one.